Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 8th of August for the Sun or the Ascendant using Western tropical astrology. As ever, I'm going to give you a broad framework and some key themes to look out for, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in forensic detail each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces. Now this week begins with the Sun in the sign of Leo. Leo is where the Sun really prospers the most. It's very much about self-expression. If we cast our mind back to the new moon of the 28th and 29th of July, if we set our intentions then, it could be that we've seen some real progress around where we want to show flair, artistry, or just mix and mingle more, socialise, and enjoy the good things in life. But this week, of course, across the 11th and 12th, depending on where you are in the world, the position of the full moon in Aquarius is of the collective. So whatever we set out to try to achieve at the end of July, it now comes out in terms of the results, or we could get a slice of reality in response. The problem is that Saturn, that cold, rather detached and limiting influence, is directly opposite the Sun and pretty close to the Moon as well, of course. So what this creates, I think, is the collective consciousness of us all, because the sign of Aquarius is about us as a group. That is, I feel, going to start to feel the impact of all that energy which really peaked at the end of July and right at the start of August, that collective in the sign of Taurus. However, despite the fact that Mars, Uranus and the North Node are in a T-square with this full moon this week, it is true that Mars and Pluto are actually in an incredibly enabling angle. So if we have got some plans that we feel are very clear, been well worked out, well researched, and we can see how we could make some tangible progress, our motivation to move forwards with those plans can be absolutely incredible with that particular alliance. However, Venus, the planet of love and relating, coming to the end of its journey through the sign of Cancer, is opposed by Pluto. This can lead to some offers or some suggestions, perhaps in the professional sphere, that sound very promising, but we need to make sure that they're not in some way, or they don't in some way have some catches that are not immediately obvious. So charm and persuasion can mask a deeper motive. That could be around a monetary offer, could be around a romantic relationship, or even a sexual attraction. So we just need to be aware of that, because with Mars and Pluto in a trine, our desire side is going to be so strong. That is tempered a little bit by the more spiritual energies of Neptune, which is soothing off Mars a little bit, and also Pluto, quite frankly. But by Thursday, Venus arrives in the sign of Leo. I think Venus in Leo is potentially lovely. Now, we've all had to really react in so many myriad of ways to deal with the last few years because of COVID. Perhaps it would be an opportune time to spoil ourselves when it comes to our personal appearance, our wardrobe, if we can afford to do it. So Venus moving into Leo is a good transit to show off a little bit, to strut our stuff, to try to give ourselves a little bit of a personal boost. But there's no doubting that the full moon across those 2 days, depending on where you are, and that opposition with Saturn can be pretty testing. So maybe the things that we have been trying to do since the end of July through to now could go through a tempering reality. Maybe it is the cost of living that's going to impact on us all. I think generally this is a week which suggests we should be a little bit more risk averse. So to be more cautious with our resources, despite that enormously motivated link between Mars and Pluto. But remember, that's in two earth signs, Taurus and Capricorn. So that's very much about keeping it real. So I just feel that this is a week where we could be a little bit disappointed about some of our friends. Maybe if a love relationship isn't going quite as well as we'd like, there could be a point where we really question things. And because Venus is initially opposite Pluto, if it is to do with who has the power in the tie, that could be something to discuss. But charm is always important with Venus, and Venus moving into Leo is very gregarious, and it does give us some levitation to the intensity of some of these other influences. If you would like to ascend above this zodiac broadcast and embrace more serious astrology, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place, I can give you a roadmap that can guide you for the rest of your life. But now, my special offer has been improved even more, because I will give you your year 2023 personal forecast and the rest of year 2022 free with 30% off in my special package. Please see the link beneath this video. Finally, if you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. If you've already done so, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So Taurus, your week commencing the 8th of August forecast sees a potential challenge or demand around your worldly situation. It could be that someone quite influential, it could be an older relative, a line manager, a colleague, or just the nature of your job, somehow snares up your energy or attention just when you're wanting to focus on your more individual needs. Uranus, Mars, North Node, all in your own sign. And of course with the Sun in the sign of Leo, very much about, feeling secure and settled in your home environment. The great news is that with Venus, your ruler, moving into Leo, if you are wanting to improve where you live, and it doesn't necessarily have to cost you a lot of money, it could just be moving furniture around, decluttering, perhaps changing your outdoor space a little bit, maybe upcycling some items, redecorating in some way. That's something you can gain a great deal of satisfaction from with Venus moving into Leo. But before she does relocate, she is in a mighty opposition with Pluto. So there could be a key conversation this week, which maybe there's something loaded on it. Maybe someone's going to be actually very flirty. Maybe you're going to have a meeting of ideas, or maybe something that's rather attractive to you could be somehow subject to a relationship in order to get the prize, which can be tantalizing but also frustrating all at the same time. But that crunching Saturn-Moon opposition with the Sun on the full moon across the 11th and the 12th, wherever you are in the world, just suggests that just when you're wanting to focus on those very tender, inner or personal situations, maybe you're going to be asked to work extra hours, or there can be a regime change in your work, or maybe just pressure, maybe the responsibility of older relatives. Something could just really put the proverbial spanner in the works. However, Venus, your ruler, moving into that 4th house suggests if you can be really delicate in your response and try not to react or be triggered by the demand that may come your way, there's still opportunities for you to enjoy this developing individuality which you're embracing more and more, which might be just seeing you taking steps one by one away from what was a very structured existence, which may have served you a very long time, but perhaps has just become rather oppressive in its repetition.